What's up YouTube? My name's Cam and this is my van. This is a 2020 Nissan NV200. It's got 16,000 miles on it and it's a camper van. It's a full camper van, all the luxuries you could ever need. So starting with the exterior here, we have a full floor light bar. It's mounted inside of a piece of wood. Bed line for just some waterproof factors. Moving to the side here, I do have my traction boards if I ever get stuck in the mud. The nice thing about this design is it's in a track system, so it's only one lock on one side, and the boards will slide right out of the track system. There's no tools or any equipment needed to get it off the roof, which is very nice. I do have 500 watts of solar up there. I do have capabilities of having 600 watts of solar if I do choose to add another panel, which is very interesting. Moving to the back here, it does have a partitioned barn style door. Pretty common in the US. Some in Europe do have a tailgate that lifts up, but I like the door feature that we get in the US. So opening up, this is the rear entry. It is only rear entry on this van here, the way I converted it. Starting here on the door, I do have a window cover here. I do have a rear window with a rear window defogger if I'm ever in a colder climate where rear window defoggers are needed. I do have my fire extinguisher, shoe rack, flip-flop holder, and a nice grab handle for closing the door from the interior, which is very nice. Moving to this partition door here, I do have the axe for firewood and things. I do have an 8-foot ladder for getting on the roof to clean those solar panels off, of course. And then I do have a folding stool, which comes in very handy. One nice aspect of the NV200 is these doors will fully open, giving you maximum ability to get inside or outside or whatever configuration you're thinking about on the van. So now here's the magic feature, the fancy feature of our van here. So everything is like Tetris. It's got to have a spot, especially when you're living in a 32 square foot home. So here I have a 42-inch drawer slide. They are locking out. They do lock out, which is very nice. So I'll show that feature real quick before I show you the kitchen. They lock and they lock in, which is very, very nice for traveling. If you slam on the brakes, they won't come out, things like that. So that will pull right out, and not only will it lock in, it will lock out. So it's not going to go anywhere while you're cooking or anything like that. So I have a 42-inch top here. It's about 18 inches wide for reference. I know the videos can sometimes be difficult to get the full perspective. There is a hiking pole I use on one end. And that hiking pole will go right in here, and it's adjustable. So if I'm on unlevel ground or whatnot, I can level out the kitchen just like that. So the way I made this is it's a perfect height for your regular camp chair. So if you want a meal or you want to have a nice place to sit with a nice area to put your computer or have a nice view, the camp chair would be a sufficient height for this level here. Moving on to the interior of the box, I do have a false top that comes out. You can simply put the false top on one end. I might redesign this with some more elaborate hinges and things like that, but it works quite well. So in here I have all my cutlery, pots and pans, additional storage, and I do have a 2-burner Coleman stove. Here's that Coleman stove for reference. It's pretty common. A lot of people do have this exact stove, which is it's very nice, very handy. Moving on to the interior, if I did need more counter space while cooking, I have a drop down here as well. This can kind of work as a secondary seating position, which is kind of nice. So say you're having a view, you can kind of, they do lack headroom, but if you sit like this, and now check out that view we have, guys. We got quads, we're in beautiful Quartzsite, Arizona right now. 70 degrees during the day, 40 to 50 at night. It's great to be here in the wintertime for sure. So that tabletop will also become my sink. I am from Massachusetts, so I didn't want any plumbing systems to go frozen. I just have a simple 7-gallon aquatainer here. Filling up bottles, filling up your pots and pans. It's very simple. If you need some water to just wash your pan off with. I was thinking of doing a slide-out sink as well. So a slide-out sink would come right through here. I'd have full access. Maybe one of those silicone depressible sinks would be quite handy. And everybody, even in the sticks and bricks, you gotta have a junk drawer, right? So I do have a junk drawer, wiring, zip ties, pliers, you name it, it'll fit in there, which is kind of handy. And it is on a slow close hinge as well, which is very nice. Moving on to the interior of this area here, I do have a hidden compartment. So I can put my laptop in there, books, things that are more flat, and it's out of the way, inconspicuous. I don't think people would want to lift a 56-pound jerry can of water to steal your laptop. That's usually be a little cumbersome for them. So that goes back in there. This folds up in here, and let me show you the inside. Come on in. So here you can see we have our 32-inch flat screen TV. I coined the motto. I have a 32 square foot home, and I have a 32-inch TV, which is kind of funny. Bigger than most. It was just what I had. A lot of the componentry in here is something I already had available, so I didn't have to go out and spend more money on more items to put in the van. The cool thing about this is it's on a swing out mechanism. So that swing out mechanism allows me to use it outside, it allows me to use it inside, and I can get a pretty good viewing angle of the TV. Moving on to our storage, I didn't want any doors on my storage. I wanted to keep it nice and easy and accessible. So I have cubbies here. I have like an iron for clothes, a Milwaukee charger. I have an air compressor, fans, and the nice thing about that is it goes all the way down to your wheel well space. So this entire cavity, for the most part, is usable space in the vehicle. Moving to our right side here, I have a similar setup. I have another cubby hole here, and then these are all my pillows here, and that's where I keep all of my sleeping bags. I don't have any active form of heating in here. I just have one 50-degree sleeping bag and one 20-degree sleeping bag. So I'm experimenting with that. I usually move with the sun. I stay where it's nice and warm. When it's winter time like this, being in quartzite, like I said, 70 degrees, it's excellent. But I keep all of my bedding in that corner there, and that goes all the way down into the corner of the van, and I have my winter hat, winter coat, gloves, things that you don't readily need every day is what goes in there. Got this nice table here. I wanted to do a table that was removable, but I get lazy on the road. I don't want to have to set up things every now and again. So I do have this nice countertop that's fixed. It's always going to be there. You might wonder, well, how do you sleep on the bed? This is kind of in the couch mode right now. My feet fit perfectly underneath the countertop, so I don't have to set up anything, which is nice. And then in the corner here, I do have my microwave oven. It's a 1250 watt Black & Decker. They do rate it at 900 watts, so that's something to consider when you're building an electrical system. You actually test your appliances to make sure they're not exceeding what the rating is. I did have that problem. I had to upgrade inverters, upgrade batteries to be able to run the appliance efficiently. Moving on over here, I just have a little power station, some hooks for other items, but I have two USB ports, a 12-volt plug, a battery monitor for voltage, as well as an on-off switch. And that just works simply like that. And then for 120 power, I have the Renogy switch for my inverter. I simply switch that on, and now all the outlets are usable. They're turned on. Those are just on a simple extension cord style plug. So for the bed setup, the aisle here will actually have a cushion. I will show you that in just a second. But the backrest here, when I push the seats all the way forward, the backrest will fold flat. There's a carabiner on a clip, carabiner on a rope rather, like this. I just unclipped, and now the backrest can go fully flat. So now from the driver's seat to the edge of the cabinet is 72 inches long, or 6 feet, and then from cabinet to cabinet is 45 inches, 3 inches less than 4 foot and 6 foot long. The nice thing about doing the string on a carabiner is I can get infinite adjustability in this backrest here. So I can get it very high up if I'm going to be sitting kind of high, or maybe more of a lounge, and then I can bring it right down to be fully flat, which is very nice. Because the headroom, I did insulate very well. I have like about 2.5, 3 inches of insulation on the floor, and then here I have about 1.5 inches of wood going across this way, and then I have my cedar tongue and groove going this way, and I just nailed into. So when you look at my head, it's kind of hitting, but when I never sit in the van just like this, I have that backrest, and I can go like this, I can go like this, so it is pretty comfortable. When I am sitting here, I usually sit on this side though, and I do get just a couple more inches from my max air fan. So that gives me a little bit more headroom. I am 5'6" for reference, so I'm a pretty short person. If you were a taller person, you might have to configure it a little bit differently. Moving on, this is my max air fan. It's an in and out, so exhaust and intake fan. So how the controls work, you simply just push it on, it'll start pulling air out, and then if you want it more air in, you switch that fan rotation. It has a circuit built in that will just bring air in. Quite common, a lot of builds do have those. You'll notice it is offset, and I can show you why I offset it and how that works in the next clip. So this is my max air fan from the exterior of the vehicle. As you can see, there's a compact curve on the lid, and how that compact curve has benefited the racking system is it's able to still open. I can get the fan open to about 3/4 of additional height, so that allows for pretty good airflow even in the hottest conditions. The nice thing about doing your rack system over your fan is you get cooler air. The solar panels will reflect most of the heat, and you'll be able to pull in colder air or cooler air through the max fan. Coming around to the passenger side of the vehicle, I do have sliding doors on both sides, so I simply just open that door up. Have a nice storage area for my Camelback water bladder. Very nice cargo net. The nice thing about my clothing storage at the moment is it's all plastic crates. So I'm able to use all of the mounting points. It's just plastic, simple to drill in. So here's one side of the table. So these are folding table brackets from Amazon.com. They are supposedly rated for 500 pounds. Plenty of weight rating for your camp stove. A nice outdoor. It's a nice height for an outdoor desk area, which is quite nice. And then under here, this is the leaf for the interior of the bed. So how that works is there's a nice piano hinge right there. So just flip open like this, and that will make into the aisle of the bed. Moving on to the second sliding door. It mirrors mostly of the other door. Here you can see I have a 30 amp waterproof circuit breaker and kill switch. These two items here directly correlate to the solar panels. So whenever you're disconnecting your batteries from your solar controller or anything like that, you definitely want to remove the line from your solar. So by doing that, all I have to do is do the kill switch, and then I used to use MC4 connector inline fuses. Didn't like the fuse aspect. I went to a circuit breaker system. All I do is click that circuit breaker off, and now my solar is completely shut off and safe to take the batteries off the terminals. Here I have another folding table, very similar to the other side. You can never have enough counter space, especially if you're in the desert or you're out boondocking where you don't have a picnic table. A lot of campgrounds, they will have your utilities, but it's nice to be self-sufficient for sure. Moving down here, this is some of the electrical components. I have two 125 amp hour AGM batteries. I have a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter, and I also have a 15 amp onboard charger. So the reason why there's an outlet here, and that's plugged into the onboard charger, is I have shore power hookups, which I can show you in just a second. So the way to go from inverter power to shore power hookups, you can have solenoids, you can have relays, you can have switches. My system is very simple. All I do is unplug from the inverter with this here, and I plug it back in to this outlet here. So I can go from inverter power or I can go from shore power. I have cable TV inputs, and I also have electronics. Like I said in the previous clip, my my plumbing is all external, so I can fill up my 7-gallon aqua tanner at any local water station, Walmart, big box store. That makes me a little more versatile than, say having a 40-gallon freshwater tank built into the system where you have to actually go to a proper water fill station. And these covers are all waterproof, and they close up, and it looks almost factory. Moving on into the interior again, I wanted to show my fridge. I do have the Alpicool C15 15-quart fridge. And the nice thing about this fridge is it has Bluetooth connectivity. So the fridge is connected directly to my phone. I can adjust the temperature on the thermostat very simply, whatever temperature and it actually will be a freezer or a fridge, which is quite handy. So if you want to do ice cream or anything like that. The coolest feature though, it has a lockout feature. So what that does is if I'm on a bumpy road and something hits my fridge, the fridge display, when it's in the lock mode, the display becomes inoperable. It won't turn off, which is very nice. So you can unlock it, and then it'll work. It'll function just fine. that is something to an aspect that I didn't know about until probably 6 months into having the fridge. As we walk back into the interior, I have it in sleeping mode. The bed is 72 inches long by 45 inches wide, so that 45 inches of width can accommodate two pretty good. The nice thing about having the bed setup is you get all the storage space in the aisle. So that fridge will push all the way back where it normally sits, and you'll have all that space for, say, a carry-on bag if you're picking up someone from the airport, or extra cargo, whatever it may be. It's versatile, so you have that space. So I'll get right back all the way. I'm 5'6", and you can see where my feet are. I have about, I don't know, 10 inches, 12 inches of extra additional room. But whenever I'm in single person mode, I like to sit this way. So I put my feet in the corner here, and I put my head at this corner, and then I don't have to use any of that additional hardware. I can sleep perfectly flat like this on my stomach, and it's really easy to make the bed every day. Another thing you can do with this, you can put the backrest back up. Now you have a full lounge, so you can sit like this. If you want the lounge to be a little bit more unelevated, you can bring it down a little bit. So you have infinite adjustability of the backrest, and you have your feet up. So that wraps up the van tour. Be sure to look out for more future videos, and I'll go in depth into each of the systems and how each component works. Make sure to comment, subscribe if you liked the video, and give it a thumbs up. My name's Cameron, and thank you very much for watching.